This is Southern Cross News with Joe Palmer.
Good evening, everyone. The Tasmanian Labor Party has revealed its key election policy, a health package worth more than $500 million. The pledge is off the back of a new health performance report, which the Liberals say deflates fears of a growing health crisis. Our state political reporter, Jacqueline Robson, has been looking over the policy and joins us now. Good evening, Jack. It's a big monetary commitment. Will it hurt the budget bottom line?
Well, Joe, it's unclear exactly what kind of impact it would have on Tasmania's projected budget surpluses. In Labor's economic direction statement, they did account for slimmer surpluses than the Liberals. However, policy analysts say it can be done sensibly through public borrowing and say it's in fact there where the Liberals have failed in health. It's the policy package Labor hopes will win over Tasmanian voters.
What they're thinking about this election is which party is going to be able to deliver the best response to the problems we're seeing in the health system. $560 million over 6 years to boost Tasmania's health service, a promise of 500 health professionals to fill almost 250 vacancies, with further staff to allow for more hospital beds. The first priority, emergency, elective surgery and outpatient appointments. Our priority would be to reduce bed block in our hospitals. So we've got a commitment of $47.5 million to increase staffing levels in our hospitals.
The pledge builds on previous commitments with an extra $250 million for infrastructure. The Royal Hobart Hospital is included, with new master plans for Hobart and Burnie adding to the already announced Launceston precinct.
This will require a capital investment to make sure that we can upgrade the infrastructure to meet current and future demand.
We need the best because we've got the oldest, sickest, poorest population. This doesn't put us there, but it starts us on the journey.
Policy analyst Martin Goddard says the benefits of health investment outweighs the price tag. Public borrowing through TasCorp allowing the budget to remain stable with a significant social return.
There is no need to go into deficit to do this. We've actually got the money. We're just not spending it on health and hospitals at the moment.
The Liberals are yet to release a health package, today pointing to a new Productivity Commission report as moving in the right direction.
Our surgery waiting lists are down, people are spending less time in hospitals. There are more people working in our health and hospital system now than when we came into government.
This year alone, we will spend more than $400 million than what was being spent when we came to government.
Unions are hoping the commitment is matched, with staff under increasing pressure.
We would hope the Liberals match what Labor's announced today and hopefully even a bit more. Reality is that health needs relief. We need the money. We need it very, very quickly.
Jacqueline Robson, Southern Cross News.
The opposition leader is promising to position health as the key priority if Labor wins the March election. We're joined now live by Labor leader Rebecca White. Good evening, Rebecca, and thanks for joining us. This is a major commitment, but can we trust Labor given the cuts of 2011 and, of course, stalling on the Royal Hobart Hospital rebuild?
We know that health is the number one issue for Tasmanians, and that's why we've made a commitment to restore confidence in the health system and invest in the services that Tasmanians deserve. We've been listening to the community, and my commitment to them as the leader of the Tasmanian Labor Party is that health will be our number one priority. We've heard so many horrible stories about people waiting in the emergency department, sometimes for days, and also loss of accreditation at the Launceston Hospital and the Royal Hobart Hospital.
So,
we need to act to restore confidence.
Should Tasmanians simply forget how Labor slashed health funding when it was in government?
Our commitment, Joe, is to restore the numbers to our health service that we need. Remember, there was a global financial crisis that saw revenues drop to Tasmania and revenues drop to other states around the country at that time too. We've recovered from that. We now need to invest in health services and provide access to health services for Tasmania, no matter where they live across the state.
Rebecca White, we thank you very much for joining us this evening. A major boost for employment on the northwest coast tonight, with a $190 million plantation hardwood mill to be built in Burnie. The plant is expected to create 200 long-term jobs, the state government gifting the group $13 million to help make the mill a reality.
These tiny trees at Foraco Nursery will soon give the state's forest industry a giant boost.
This is a game changer for the North West Coast, for this region and for Tasmania's forest industry.
Foraco has signed a long-term timber supply agreement with the Hermel Group. The Victorian-based company plans to build a plantation hardwood mill and timber product manufacturing facility right near the tree nursery.
This is a tremendous partnership that will deliver the largest hardwood plantation mill in the country.
The current hardwood industry in Tasmania, sawmilling industry, putting aside rotary veneer, but the log industry is probably less than 150,000 cubic metres a year. This one mill is going to produce or process double that volume.
A mill site is still being found. Construction is expected to start late this year and be completed by 2020.
When completed, we will employ over 200 staff, and during the building phase, we will seek to engage as many local businesses as possible, just as we seek to source our staff from the local area.
To help get the mill up and running, the state government is providing $13 million in grants and training support. A $30 million loan will also be made available. Braddon is expected to be a key election battleground, but the Premier denies today's announcement has anything to do with winning the region's votes, saying the deal was actually signed off before the election was announced. Labor and the Greens say they support it.
The opportunity for plantation-based forestry activities in Tasmania presents a huge opportunity for job creation, particularly on the northwest.
There's a huge opportunity here for us to actually have an industry we can be proud of and doesn't come with 30 years of forest conflict.
Monica Dadson at Southern Cross News.
A biosecurity blitz has begun in the state's northwest. Fruit fly baits will be applied to hundreds of properties after larva was found at Strahan last week. It follows the detection of 5 adult fruit flies in traps on Flinders Island overnight.
A mass quarantine to save Tasmania's fruit industry. Fruit fly bait will be applied to more than 400 properties over the next 12 weeks, so long as producers give Te Pitwe permission.
If that permission is denied, we can go to the courts and get a warrant from a magistrate to enter those properties. We would prefer not to do that.
The baiting will take place in the 15-kilometre exclusion zone around the infected Acacia Hills property. During the crackdown, biosecurity officers need to approve any fruit being supplied to supermarkets in Devonport, while residents are banned from taking locally grown fruit outside the containment lines.
All fruit, all waste, your apple cores, your cherry pips, should all be double bagged, put into your rubbish, not put into your compost.
And what we've got to recognise is if we don't get this under control, there will be economic impacts on regional communities.
The state's chief farming lobby says agriculture jobs and businesses depend on the program's success.
There's no question that our fruit fly free status is a major component in us having access to overseas markets for cherries and other produce as well.
Te Pitwe says 5 adult fruit flies detected on Flinders Island overnight came from properties already infected with larvae.
The fact that the traps are out there and have collected them have demonstrated that we can detect them.
Biosecurity teams from interstate will arrive in Tasmania tomorrow to provide further assistance. Tom Johnson, Southern Cross News.
A group of Tasmanian students has today returned from the trip of a lifetime after spending 8 adventurous days at sea. The journey saw the young crew sail parts of the state's coastline on the tall ship Windward Bound.
Back on shore after a thrilling adventure.
Started in Hobart, sailed down the middle of the channel a bit and then continued to circumnavigate Bruny.
Not particularly much sleep, but it was really good.
18 sail trainees spending the past 8 days learning the ropes of this tall ship, the Windward Bound. The youth development course said to do wonders for the young crew, who were tasked with everything from taking control of the vessel to working at the top of a 24-metre mast.
We helmed and we navigated and we learned how to plot points on the chart.
One of the biggest challenges, not having access to social media.
Well, I knew no one, so now I know them all, so lots of new friends.
The first night at dinner is usually a bit quiet, and then the chatter starts after that, and you can just see the changes happening day by day by day.
Captain Sarah recently received a prestigious international award thanks to a 2-decade commitment working alongside young people on trips like this.
To be singled out as the Sail Trainer of the Year was an incredible honour.
The accomplished captain now planning on an 8-week odyssey on the state's west coast.
I think it was Theodore Roosevelt who once said that if you don't give kids something that is exciting and interesting and good for them, they go looking for something that's exciting and interesting and bad for them.
Louise Hedger, Southern Cross News.
A Tasmanian National Parks campaign is using social media to motivate people to enjoy the outdoors this summer. The project encouraging people to take photos and post them online using the hashtag #RethinkParks. Each week, 5 winners will be chosen with the prize an annual National Parks Pass. The initiative runs until the end of February. Excitement is building for the Queen's Baton Relay, which reaches our state next week. 12 baton bearers joined together in Launceston today in preparation for the event. Among them was Denise Talbot, who has spent 3 years with international charity Days for Girls.
It was really exciting, yes, and very humbling, really, yeah, to be acknowledged for all the different things that have been involved in the communities over the years.
It is a special day, and it's memories of that like that they will have for many, many years to come.
The relay will be in Devonport and Launceston on February 7th before heading to Hobart on the 9th. More than 100 aged care residents and staff have helped complete what they believe to be the largest puzzle in Tasmania. The 5.7 metre wide jigsaw took 2.5 years to complete, and today it found a new home.
Alan Adams is among the aged care residents who put this 33,600-piece puzzle together. A moment marking 2.5 years of work.
It's something we've been looking forward to since the day we started it, really. A lot of hours, a lot of fun, really a lot of fun.
The Yaduka wildlife piece is classed as one of the largest jigsaw puzzles in the world, now calling aged care Deloraine its new home.
We worked on it all those months and thought it was coming here, and then of course they decided it wasn't, and now at last it's here, so it's wonderful.
We're just so proud of it now. Just everybody here today talking and that, they're just all so proud of it.
Residents, family and friends helping unveil the masterpiece this afternoon. CEO Charlie Emerton says this is one of their longest projects, with every part of the community helping piece it together.
The residents over here are really, really over the moon, plus their families, just to come in and see it. Yeah.
And it's unlikely to be the last jigsaw these puzzlers will complete. Rita Risk, Southern Cross News.
International retail giant H&M has announced it's on track to open its first retail store in Tasmania before the end of this financial year. The men's and women's clothing store, currently under construction, will open in Hobart's Cat and Fiddle Arcade. The company has 26 stores nationwide. Now look at the day's business and finance news with thanks to Tasplan, your local super fund. The share market has posted its largest daily fall since mid-November, with the mining, energy and healthcare sectors the worst performers. The ASX 200 index fell 52.6 points. Short time ago, the Australian dollar was trading at 80.73 US cents and 57.47 British pence.
Star hurricane Jofra Archer will remain in purple for the next 2 BBL seasons after finalising a new deal with the club today. But it wasn't all positive news out of the Canes camp, with Julia Price sacked as head coach following a horror WBBL season.
Fresh from signing a $1.4 million IPL deal, the 22-year-old has a bit to smile about.
I don't think it's sunken in as yet.
The Barbadian import, who's been arguably the Canes' best this BBL season, is now locked away on what's believed to be a lucrative 2-year deal. And although it's likely he could have named his price with other clubs, he says money wasn't the determining factor.
From the time I got here, everyone's welcomed me with open arms. I have a bond with probably all the team, some of the staff as well. And I just like the environment here at Hobart.
Archer even knocking back an offer from reigning champions, the Scorchers, to stay in purple.
The bowling coach from Sussex, he was one of the assistant coaches, and I think for like 4 days, he tried to convince me to come play with them in the following year.
When you're doing well, everyone wants a pay rise, so that's always a challenge to manage. We can fit everyone into the salary cap.
And while the Canes prepare to take on the Scorchers in Thursday night's semi-final in Perth, women's coach Julia Price is preparing to find a new job, with Cricket Tasmania choosing not to renew her Hurricanes and Raw contract beyond this season.
And we didn't feel that Julia potentially had the characteristics or the vision that we were looking for to drive the next stage of the program.
After finishing dead last on the WBBL ladder with just 2 wins, Price will still see out her contract, coaching the Raw for the last half of the domestic season.
Julia's not happy about it, but I wouldn't expect her to be happy about it. I wouldn't be happy about it if I was her position either.
The search now begins for her replacement.
There's a lot of good coaches out there. We've got a really clear vision as to the kind of person that we're looking for.
The eyes of the cricketing world will be squarely on Hobart during the World Cup, with Blunston Arena set to host a string of matches. It's a deal that will see some of the world's best sides converging on the Apple Isle as millions tune in to watch.
8 cities, 13 venues and 4 weeks of world-class T20 cricket.
In what promises to be the biggest tournament since the 2015 World Cup, which you'd all remember very fondly as to how we were able to showcase the new ponding stand to the world.
And for 4 days in 2020, the international spotlight will be back on Blunston Arena, with the ground hosting a total of 8 matches, including double headers and day-nighters.
Obviously with a billion Indians alone watching it, it's going to be a great way to showcase what we can do as Tasmanians.
And with sellout matches likely, so too are stadium upgrades.
Well, I think the scoreboard is probably the obvious one for us. We've got a good scoreboard, but looking at, we've got scoreboard envy when I look at some of the other stadia. And
the fixture will be released closer to the competition, so for now it remains uncertain just which teams we'll get to see in action.
I'm sure the Tasmanian public would love to see the Australian team play down here. Whether that happens, we don't really know yet, but yeah, there's still a lot of world-class teams that'll be coming down here.
We get what we're given. Obviously, Australia-India would be a fantastic start, I'm sure. But I'm pretty sure the MCG and SCG will be keen for that as well.
The tournament begins on October 18, 2020.
One of the top-seeded Aussies at the Burnie International has made it through to the second round. 7th seed Jason Kupler winning in straight sets in less than 90 minutes to kick off his campaign. The 24-year-old from Brisbane will come up against fellow Aussie Mark Polsman in the second round. The tournament's director says there will be some stiff competition in later rounds.
It's great to have these players like Marcel Granollers from Spain. They're a top seed here in the men's draw. He's ranked 120 or so in the world in singles, but 14 in doubles as well. So it is truly a world-class field here.
The Burnie International runs until the 3rd of February.
Good evening. Hobart 21 today, Launceston 22 and Burnie 23 degrees. Devonport, the state's warmest today with 24. Now those temperatures did drop below average for the first time for quite a while. Bit of rain too. York Plains 80 mils in the 24 hours to 9 a.m, while between 9 and 3 just 5 mils at Scottsdale today, the highest fall. Wynyard 23 degrees, Lowhead, Friendly Beaches and Bushy Park 21, Strahan, Grove and St Helens 19, Lyawini 14. Cloud with a tropical low is over Western Australia that extends over South Australia and joins up with some frontal cloud over the Tasman Sea. Cold speckled cloud is following that front and is streaming our way. Low-level cloud over us today as that middle level and cloud cleared the northeast of the state. Tomorrow the high drifts eastwards, a ridge still over Tasmania and tropical cyclones building there over the Coral Sea. An inland trough over New South Wales extends towards the monsoon trough over the north. Plenty on the big map. Winds southwest to southerly reaching 20 to 30 knots over most parts, lighter inland, swells to 2.5 metres. Strong wind warning for all coastal waters excluding the southeast coast. And for tomorrow, will it warm up? No. 17 with a shower. Hobart, 17 for Geeston with a shower and 15 the top for Bothwell. Launceston mostly sunny and 19, 21 for Devonport and Cressy partly cloudy, 19 degrees. For Burnie, mostly sunny and 21, 17 with the morning shower, Strahan and Curry partly cloudy and 16. St Helens a shower or two, 19 the maximum, while 17 the top for Swansea and Orford. The UV at a very high 10. On Thursday, a cloudy day with showers over the west, south and east. Showers over the south and east on Friday, fine but partly cloudy over the west and northwest. Possible showers over the north and east on Saturday, fine for the rest of the state. Sunny weather for Perth and Brisbane tomorrow. Partly cloudy in Adelaide, a possible shower for Melbourne and early rain for Canberra and Sydney.
That's all from the team for now. We'll be back with updates a little later. Thanks for your company. Good night.